Hello and welcome to another episode of EMA Cloud Rants. Today with Rob Bissett from Virtustream. Rob, today we are talking about your favorite topic, security and compliance, right? There is, especially in the container world and in the microservices world, there is this trend toward no longer attaching security to the parameter and really tying it to the application, right? And that's something that the individual IT organizations of enterprise customers have to get used to, right? It's not so simple that all of a sudden it's a bit like microsegmentation, right? All of a sudden you say, wow, my application takes its security with it versus my application is sitting safe and secure in its data center. So how does Virtustream help customers making that transformation when they come to your cloud to attach security to the application versus the parameter?
Yeah, and that's that's a really interesting question, right? That's why we're talking about it. But as you start to build sort of from a cloud native perspective in more general purpose public clouds, that becomes critical, right? Because the perimeter is, you're in a hyperscale cloud, so the perimeter is what it is. You need to have that multifaceted approach. We tend to focus with enterprises on core mission critical and enterprise applications, which raises its own challenges because we're very close to sort of the family jewels of, enterprise data and core applications. So security becomes critical there. And we take a very different approach to that. Our cloud is architected for those applications, not just from a performance and an SLA perspective, but also from a security perspective. The vast majority of our customers actually leverage our multi-tenant cloud without internet-facing capabilities at all. So many of our customers do not even have internet connectivity between the internet and their cloud zones. So, we obviously believe that a strong, robust security perimeter is important, and migrating these applications allows you to revisit, refresh, and reapply those security policies. We also believe that the security needs to be closer to those applications as well. It's not really perimeter or application; it's both. The regional regulatory compliance has really made that tricky. So we see a lot of use cases where customers are partnering with us to say, look, I've got a problem in the EU, GDPR, for example, right, where I need this data to stay in this country. So we're able to put them into a zone in that country, leverage technologies, Intel, TXT, and others to sort of ring fence that landscape, and then set up another zone in another country, and then not provide connectivity between them so that it becomes difficult to migrate that data. And we can do that, on a landscape by landscape, application by application layer to provide sort of an application level, but also a physical infrastructure level, because not all of these enterprise applications you can go in and just redo their security model at the code level.
And that's actually quite interesting, right? We have the separation now between the operations layer and the applications layer. So often the operators, and we don't even have to go to containers, right? We can stay even with web applications where the operators don't really know what's going on anymore at the application level. And they need help, right? Because they may do something that violates a compliance policy and they don't know about it because they don't really know what runs where and when and how, right?
Yeah. And we see a lot of our customers, and there's a split. They're not all one way or the other, but we see in many cases where enterprises are combining enterprise cloud migration and managed services together. Right. So it's not just a case of saying, okay, I want managed services to manage my application. I want to re-platform this, get it onto a more modern platform, make sure that we've established a secure perimeter, a secure application landscape, and then I want that maintained using robust operational and application level processes, all as a single piece, right? So now we're not into multi-vendors and passing pieces of paper back and forth, which is what often leads to some of these security accidents.
Right. And there I can say that's what you guys do in a very repetitive manner, right? So it's safe to assume that you probably do this better than the enterprise that does it once every few years.
Yeah.
So.
There's the talk for a long time has been, hey, look, the cloud is not secure. Well, the reality is that if you set it up badly, nothing is secure. And many of these enterprise infrastructures were set up years and years ago and have been maintained by different people. So this notion of replatforming applications into the cloud gives an enterprise an opportunity to reestablish a clean slate and then maintain that going forward. So in most cases, we view these things as more secure than they were previously.
Thanks, Rob. This was another episode of EMA Cloud Rant.
Thank you.